You know, Frank Ocean is one of those very few artists that every song he puts out, it's very layered, emotional, and pretty much open for interpretation. And while his fans praise the classics like Nights, Ivy, Thinking About You as they should, there's also quite a bit of songs that he has that are very underrated. I bet you if you watch this video in its entirety, you will get a different understanding for this song and it will hit you way harder. The song in particular that I want to talk about, and which was really hard for me to choose, is the song Swim Good. It's a very overlooked song from the masses, and in my opinion, it's one of Frank Ocean's most honest and haunting songs. But I just don't want to talk about how underrated this song is. I want to talk about how this song is very essential into understanding Frank Ocean's artistry. Let's be completely honest, man. Frank Ocean's Nostalgia Ultra has a lot of classics on there. There's a lot of songs that are standouts. Also, the mixtape features a lot of popular and very classic samples, such as the Hotel California sample, Coldplay, and Electric Feel. But this mixtape really flew under the radar when it came to mainstream. It's essentially a very Frank Ocean cult classic. I mean, just the way he starts off the song, that's a pretty big trunk on my Lincoln Town car, ain't it? It opens up like a flex, but it's pretty much symbolic of darkness. That trunk isn't for bags or for any gear, it's for emotional baggage. He also says in the song, I'm about to drive into the ocean, I'm gonna try to swim for something bigger than me. He's talking about escapism and potentially offing himself. The car becomes a coffin and the ocean becomes the void that he's trying to escape to. It's such a vivid metaphor for depression. He's not screaming about pain, he's calmly driving into it. That subtleness is Frank Ocean and his music. One of my favorite parts of this song is how he leads into the chorus as the song progresses. For example, before the first chorus, he says 5 more miles until the road runs out, and then he says, I'm about to drive into the ocean. As we progress in the song, he says 1 more mile until the road runs out, and then he proceeds to sing the chorus, I'm about to swim into the ocean. And he does this over a very stripped down and cinematic production, almost in comparison to Blonde. It has this very minimalist R&B tone with some hip-hop undertones. The drums on the song are knocking, but they're not overpowering. They lead to that subtleness that Frank Ocean wants. And even the way that the song is mixed, it kind of feels like he's somewhat underwater before he even drives into the ocean. And with all the reverb and all the synths, it kind of leads to like this feeling of emotional isolation. You just don't listen to Swim Good, you actually float in it. That phrase swim good isn't just motivational, it's him pretty much saying that he's trying to convince himself that he can get through this emotional storm. Now, this is why all this matters. It's the fact that Frank Ocean, at a time where vulnerability, especially for a man, was not popular in music. This came back in 2011. Mind you, he also came out before his debut project, which that in itself at the time could have been career ending. It's only been a thing in music for the last 5 to 10 years where vulnerability is very much embraced, but Frank Ocean was ahead of that. You know, another song that I wanted to pick was the song Lens because it's also very poetic and layered, but Swim Good has that more, it has more replay value to me, and it's a song that you can play no matter what your mood is. So yeah, Swim Good might not be his most streamed, his most popular amongst the masses, but it's definitely one of his most important songs in his discography. Let me know in the comments what you think Frank Ocean's underrated song is. I do plan to make more videos like this in the future, so make sure you subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.